Yo, what's going on, guys? Nick Anderson here with Paul Ivicoli, and what we want to do for you in this video is talk about a couple ideas and concepts that have helped us over the past couple years. Because when I joined the industry for my first year, having a lot of heartache, a lot of mistakes that I made trying to figure out how to get past those, there was actually one audio on YouTube that I would listen to every time I was getting close to the verge of quitting, and it was from one of my biggest mentors and Paul's biggest mentors, Jim Rohn. You've probably listened to a lot of his audios, but he talks about the law of averages. And in the law of averages comes the story of the sower. And this is how it goes. It's straight out of the Bible, but I'm an amateur on the Bible, obviously, but I remember this story. And there's an ambitious sower, and he has excellent seed. And the seed could be, a great opportunity, a great video, great presentation, or even, a great story that you have. So, we have an ambitious sower with excellent seed. So he goes out there and he starts to sow the seed. Now, the first part of the seed that he tries to plant, it falls on the wayside and the birds get it. Now, jot this down. The birds are going to get some of your seed. So if you're inviting someone to hear about your company, your opportunity, and let's say their name's John, you say, "Hey, John, are you going to come to this home event?" They're like, "Yeah, I'm excited to be there. I'm ready to show up to it." And then when it comes time for the event to go down, he's a no-show. Now, you could question that. You could say, "Why isn't it? He promised me. He said he's going to be there, but he didn't show up." The birds got to him. The birds got to him. The birds could be the negative influencers, maybe his social circle that told him, "Oh, you're going to go see network marketing. I tried one of those things one time and I failed at it. You shouldn't go do that. I don't want you to have the same thing that happened to me." And now there's two things you can do. You can either chase the birds or you can continue to keep sowing. You could say, "Well, I'm going to chase that person down that talked him out of it and beat some sense into him." But what is that going to do for you, right? That's not going to do anything. So the sower, he keeps on sowing the seed. See, that's the secret to his success. He keeps on sowing the seed. So now the next part of the seed that he plants it in shallow soil, rocky soil where it's shallow, and when it comes time to grow, the sun kills it, and the first hot day kills the plant. So John gets started with the business. He starts to produce, starts to grow. Maybe he's in for 3 weeks, a week, a month, 2 months, and then eventually he quits because he gets out there and starts talking to people, and they start turning him down, and he gets distracted by that, and he ends up giving up. Now, you could either say, "Well, shoot, how can I get him to stay with the business?" But you just got to say, "Isn't that interesting?" Now, the sower, he keeps on sowing the seed. He keeps on sharing the story. Now, the next seed that he plants it, and it starts to grow, but then the thorns choke it to death. And now the thorns could be the toxic dream stealers, the people in your life that are trying to bring you down, that maybe are seeing you live your dream, going after your goals, but are too scared to do it themselves, so they're trying to bring you down with their negative influences. Now you just have to say, "Isn't that interesting?" And the sower keeps on sowing the seed. Now the next seed that he plants in fertile soil, and the seed starts to grow. It starts to grow. Now some of the seed that he plants, some of it does 20%, some of it does 50%, and some of it does 100%. Now the 20%ers, those are the people that are, very, very part-time. They're putting in a little bit of work, but they don't give up, they quit. They might have a full-time job and they're doing this on the side. Now the 50%ers, those are the people that are going half in the business, half at their job. Then the 100%ers, those are the people that are all in, doing this full-time, and those are the people that you want to run with step for step and literally work with all the time. And now you could spend most of your time trying to focus on how you can get the 20%ers to do 100%, but that's not worth your time. I say, just like Jim Rohn says, don't sign up for that class. You just have to say, "Isn't that interesting?" The 20%ers will do 20%, the 50%ers will do 50%, and the 100%ers will always do 100%. So you just have to say, "Isn't that interesting?" Keep on sowing the seed, keep on sharing your story, keep on sharing your opportunity, and you will find the people that will want to do the business with you. But you have to stay persistent with it. You have to stay consistent. Just like the sower is ambitious. He wasn't just sitting in his house letting the seeds just sit there and not planting them. He was going out there and getting after it. Even though he was facing the hardships and the negative feedback from the people around him, he found a way to make it work instead of letting the seed just sit in a storehouse and rot. So with that being said, you guys, I want to turn it over to Paul, and he's going to talk about, how applying what you have, applying your skill set to get results in your business.
What's up, guys? What's up? It's Paul Ivicoli. And I kind of have a story, you guys. It's a story of true pain for me. It was actually a couple of summers ago. I was mowing lawns. I was actually involved in network marketing at the time, just started, didn't know much of what I was doing. I had some mentors that I really was following that weren't teaching me the right direction to go into. So I was going about, building the network marketing business with a big ego. All right, I was going out there telling people what they needed to do. I wasn't making it relatable. And here's the thing, you guys. I started mowing lawns about 2 summers ago. And I remember, as I was doing that, I just kept getting sicker and sicker. I started to get to not only sicker physically, but mentally I was so fed up with my results. I was so fed up with being sick and tired, you guys. And what happened was I actually lost 30 pounds. I weighed around 138, 140 pounds. Right now I weigh a whopping 180 pounds. But here's my point, you guys. I was so sick that I could barely walk. I had to have my girlfriend do everything for me. I could barely get up my stairs to go upstairs. I mean, that was what stress created in my life, you guys. That mental stress created a physical, it was literally the physical equivalent of what my mental stress was. I was so sick that my legs wouldn't even work. I tried to get up. I was sitting on the ground. And I remember trying to get up and I couldn't even get up. I had to have people, I had to ask people, hey, can you help me get up? I couldn't even walk in a straight line. One day I went to go to the store and I remember there was a curb. I couldn't even walk up the curb. I put a foot up. The other foot gave out. Fell straight on my ass, you guys. And that was a very painful time for me in my life because I didn't realize what was going on. In that pain, I realized, well, first off, it was created by stress, but second, I wasn't using my potential. And so guess what? Not only was I not using my potential, but I wasn't using my physical body. I wasn't working out. I wasn't keeping myself fit. And you know what happened? I lost my muscle. All right? I lost my body. I literally lost my body for a solid 3 months. A couple months, I literally could not walk. Third month, I could start to walk, you guys. But because I wasn't using my body, it gave out on me. So here's the thing, you guys. It's the same thing. People in a coma, if they're in a coma for, a year or two, they haven't used their legs, you know how hard it's going to be for them to rehabilitate their legs to work again? Doesn't mean it's not possible. Doesn't mean it can't happen. It just takes a while. All right? So what I'm telling you guys right now, what Nick was telling you, is don't let your seed rot. If you have talents, use them. And there's a story, you guys. All right? There was a master, and he had 3 servants and 7 talents. And now a talent is, a piece of gold. It was very, very expensive back, in Bible times, you guys. He had talents, and he went on a trip. He was going on a trip, and he gave his best servant 5 of those talents. Okay? He gave his best servant 5 talents. Then he gave his second best servant 2 talents. Then he gave his last servant, his least responsible servant, 1 talent. And he told each one of those servants, while I'm gone on my trip, use these talents wisely. Use them to invest into things, bring me back some profits. Don't just, make sure that you're not losing them, but you're building something of them. You're using those talents. Okay, so he went away on his trip. First servant went, put those 5 talents to work. All right, invested them, did some things with them. At first it was a little bit rocky, but then all of a sudden, after working hard with those talents, they began to multiply. And now he had 10 talents. Okay, the second servant went and, invested those talents. Out of those 2 talents, he went and made 4 talents. Okay, and then the last servant, you know what he did? He went out into the field and buried the talent. He buried it because he didn't want to lose it. He was so scared of losing the talent that he just wanted to, when his master showed up, he wanted to pick it back out of the ground and give it to his master and say, look, master, I didn't lose my talent. Okay, well, the master showed back up. The master asked the first servant, hey, what'd you do with those 5 talents I gave you? Well, I put them to work, put them to use, all right, and I made 10 talents out of that 5 talents. He says, check the books, very good. You made me 10 talents from that 5 talents. Very good, good servant. Second servant, hey, what'd you do with my 2 talents that I gave you? Well, I put them to work, put them to use, all right, and what happened was I made 4 talents. Very good, good servant. Check the books, it's all there, perfect. The last servant went because he knew his master was coming back, undug it from the field after a few years, undug it, all right, showed his master, hey, look, I've got this 1 talent. Check it out, I didn't lose it. The master took that talent from the guy, gave it to the guy with the 10 talents, and told him, I'm sorry, you don't even deserve that talent because he didn't put it to use. There's this law of use in the universe. You guys, sorry my phone's going off here. But here's the deal, you guys. There's this law of using your talents in the universe. It doesn't mean, here's the thing, we always ask ourselves why? Why does it work that way? Why would you take from the poor man and give to the rich? It's because the rich man, he has he has a prosperous mindset. He has the prosperous mentality. He thinks in terms of use all your talents. And I guess this story means two things, you guys. One, if you have your talents, put them to use. All right? If you don't use it, you lose it. That's why the master took the talent from the small guy. And the second thing is, don't bury your talents. All right? Don't bury them. Why be the guy with the 1 talent when you can choose to be the guy with the 10 talents? Now 11 talents. All right? Don't bury your talents. Just, if you have talents, put them to use. And I'm telling you guys right now, if you put them to use, all right, you're going to start to see some miraculous thing happens. Even if it doesn't happen this first month, even if it doesn't happen this second month, I promise you one thing. By the 3rd month of putting your talents to use in a consistent, positive manner, all right, you will start to see results in this business. And so with that, you guys, I want you guys to know one thing. Don't feel like you're bothering us when you want to connect with us. Feel free to connect us. Feel free to hit us up and check out the email for tomorrow's video. Thanks, guys.